to be far too sexy for a man, which Josh had tried hard not to mind.
"We're just not good together anymore," Dan said, shaking his head. "Don't get me wrong, Sasha is brilliant. I love her to bits. I'm just not in love with her."
He kept his eyes trained on Josh's while the clichés spilled out of him, as if intensity was proof of sincerity. But Josh, who had accompanied Dan on 2 stag weekends, as well as countless lads' nights out, had seen him give this look too many times before, in too many less than sincere circumstances, for it to be 100% effective. He sat back in his uncomfortable wooden chair with the saggy leather cushion in the pub they always insisted on going to on match days, purely because it was so unappealing that they were always guaranteed a seat. Suddenly, his head buzzed with adrenaline.
"You've met someone else?"
Dan's eyes widened still further, his raised eyebrows disappearing into his floppy dishwater blonde hair.
"What are you talking about? Look, mate, I know it's a shock, but sometimes people just grow apart. It doesn't mean there's someone else."
Cut the crap. Josh wasn't angry, mostly because he didn't believe Dan was remotely serious, but neither was he about to let him get away with feeding him some women's magazine bullshit.
"You wouldn't leave Sasha in September unless there was someone else waiting in the wings. I know you."
"Mate." Josh trusted that anyone listening would realize he was using the word ironically.
"You're emotionally lazy." "Emotionally lazy?"
Dan bristled as if gearing up to protest, but then seemed to think better of it and slumped back down again.
"Okay, you're right. I have met someone."
He glanced at Josh, checking how this had gone down.
"But we haven't done anything. What I mean is, we haven't slept together."
Josh knew he was lying.
"So, who is she?"
His friend's eyes suddenly brightened, and he almost fell over his words in his delight at being given license to speak of this new beloved.
"She's incredible, amazing. Honestly, you have no idea. I met her on a shoot. Yeah, she's a model, cliché, but she's not like all the rest. She's so smart and funny and down to earth. And don't tell me, gorgeous."
Josh paused before the last word and traced exaggerated quote marks in the air with his fingers as he said it to show he was being sardonic. But such subtleties were lost on Dan.
"No, she looks like the back end of a bus,"
he grinned. Josh struggled then to hide the wave of blind fury that swept over him out of nowhere. Anger was appropriate, wasn't it, in view of his friendship with Sasha? He refused to acknowledge, even to himself, that the anger might be overlaid with something else, something acidic and powerful. It wasn't jealousy. Most assuredly, absolutely not. Why should he feel jealous of Dan when he was about to lob a live grenade into the heart of his family?
"Listen, Dan."
He put on the voice he used when he was talking to his pupils, reasonable, calm, but firm.
"Everyone needs an ego boost from time to time. What are you, 35? 36? Oi, steady on. Just because you're staring 40 in the face doesn't mean the rest of us are fucking ancient as well. Actually, I'm only 34. Whatever."
Josh was 38. It was hardly ancient. He was fairly sure he was younger than Robbie Williams, for instance.
"Listen, Dan. Most blokes our age," he enjoyed Dan's momentary scowl at that, "who've been with the same woman for a long time, get itchy feet. Do you think I've never thought about how it would be to be with someone else apart from Hannah?"
Briefly, he wondered whether that was true. Had he ever seriously considered being with someone else? Really?
"But the thing is, I know it wouldn't be worth it. I'd be jeopardizing everything that's important to me. For what? For a brief thrill?"
Dan had started shaking his head when Josh was only halfway through this speech.
"Look, I loved Sasha. That's why I married her. But she's not laid back."